Hello, my name is Jack Ducard. Welcome to Sentinel Circle. Thank you for joining us here today. If you like what I do here, please like and subscribe, leave a comment, and please share any of the videos if you feel that they'll help someone. I appreciate your patronage. Thank you for being here today. So, I'm going to start with something personal today. I have a sugar addiction, and 2 days ago, my biggest addiction, I should say, is I like soda pop. I'm fanatical about it. And it's the reason why I weigh close to 300 pounds. It's the reason why I'm, having issues with my health and other things. And that's why I'm here to talk to you about it today, because it's something that not a lot of people talk about, and it is afflicting us as men as well as society as a whole. So the other day, I had a soda after 100 days of not having one soda. And because of that one soda led to a visit to a fast food place. I won't say the name of it. And on top of that, I went immediately to another fast food place and got myself a giant ice cream, because that's one of my other issues. In an effort to try and lower my weights, I am dieting, I am exercising. I'm not following a strict diet. It's more just home cooked meals, trying to reduce costs, and trying to feed myself with good food, but I'm not like actively following like paleo or have a vegan diet or anything like that. I'm not. I'm trying to just do pure calories in, calories out. And like I said, I work out not aggressively, but I work out basically every single day. I go to the gym. I do calisthenics Mondays and Thursdays. Tuesdays and Fridays are on the elliptical for about 30 minutes to an hour. And the rest is active recovery of about minimum 10,000 steps. So, it is helping me lose weight. I'm not trying to do anything drastic. I'm not going to go on Ozempic. I'm trying to do this natural, because Ozempic to me is more of it's a quick way, but you still maintain the same issues. You're still eating poorly. It's basically giving you the freedom to do the bad things without consequence. And consequence, I feel, is the important aspect to anything in life. But sugar addiction, in my view, is an addiction, like a legitimate addiction. And, there are times where I'll stand in the grocery store and I'm looking at the candy, and I can't be there for too long because I really want to have like a chocolate bar or a candy bar, or my favorite thing is like sour candy. I'm big on sour candy, and I can't have that. There's certain places that I can't go to food wise, because if I eat it, I'm going to want a soda, and I can't do that either. So I avoid those places as best as I can, and I've replaced soda with coffee. I try and stick to like 2 teaspoons of milk in my coffee, and then on top of that, I try and do just pure water and unsweetened tea with maybe like 1 little teaspoon of sugar, just to kind of get myself something, because I will say that not having sugar sucks just as much, but I feel that moderation is probably the biggest thing to learn. You can't just, I don't know. You can't go full on cold turkey, but at the same time, you can't just allow yourself to be consumed by it. So we're gonna go into this article. I'm not gonna read the whole thing, but it's to illustrate, because I know a lot of people are afflicted by it. And even if this video helps one person realize that they have sugar addiction and maybe reach out and get some help on it, that to me is worth its weight in gold. So let's go ahead and switch over to it. There we go. I apologize for that. I may cut that out. So this article is from the Cleveland Clinic, How to Break Your Sugar Addiction. But we're just going to go into what is sugar addiction. So sugar addiction. Plenty of people have a sweet tooth. So how do you know if you're addicted to sugar? Which food and sugar addiction are, in my view, I don't want to say harder. All addiction's hard. But the difference between like a food addiction is you can't quit cold turkey on food, and by a lesser extent sugar, because there's sugar in everything you eat. There's natural sugars, like in fruits. That's how primitive man used to get their sugar, was from fruits. Unlike say narcotics, adult content, even alcohol, you can quit those cold turkey, but I will say it's not pretty at all. But you have to eat. There's no way of getting around that. And by extension, you're going to have sugar in something that you eat. It's just not a question of if, it's a question of when. So you can't be diagnosed with a sugar addiction, at least not yet. Again, it's not really recognized, which I understand it. But self-reflection and an honest conversation with a healthcare provider is the best way to start to get a handle on the issue. So ask yourself these questions. Do you feel like you don't have enough control over how much sugar you eat? And I will say that once I get a little bit of it, I tend to go hard. Like I said, I had the other day after that one soda, and it wasn't even like a full sugar soda, it was a diet soda. And that made me go into a frenzy. I ended up having six sodas. And like I said, it was 3 burgers, because I don't eat fries when I go to fast food. I just do sandwiches and burgers. But I had 3 burgers. No. 4 burgers. I get my usual. And then immediately after that, I got myself a really, really big ice cream. Not from the grocery store either. I went to the Dairy Liege is probably the best way to describe it. The Burger Liege and the Dairy Liege. Those are my two sins right there. And like I said, at the Dairy Liege, that I had probably the biggest ice cream you could possibly get in there, and it was the Choco Extreme winter event. It was pretty tasty, and afterwards I felt sick afterwards, but I felt so good. I mean, just thinking about it right now just makes me want to go and get one, but I simply can't. My weight is impacting me significantly. So let's go back to this. Ask yourself these questions. I read the first one. Second one is, do you think about sugar all day? I won't say I think about it, but if it's in front of me, I do think about it afterwards. Are you eating sugar throughout the day, or do you feel that you're eating more sugar than you should? So for me, I'm not a big snacker. I don't like to sit there and munch on things throughout the day, but I do, if I'm not careful, I will go through a whole 2 liter of soda a day. And in fact, during college, the most I was doing was 4 liters of soda a day. You know, there were times where I'd go to the store and just stock up, and, you know, it was cheap at the time, and I just sit there with 2 liter on my desk and just, you know, guzzle it down. I mean, it was heinous, and believe it or not, it didn't affect my teeth. The worst that I got, and this is kind of what made me decide I should start thinking about quitting, is I'd get very bad indigestion at night. Like, I'd burp, and it was just like my throat was burning the entire time. It was horrible, and I said I can't do it. And then as time went on and I got older, I'd start getting the shakes. You know, my hand would just start shaking really bad, and I had frequent restroom breaks. Like, I'd have one soda, and all of a sudden, like, I'd have to pull over every 5 minutes. And it wasn't like a gradual like buildup. It was like I'd relieve myself, and then almost instantly it was so bad that I thought I'd make a mess of myself. You know, and it was just like for hours I would do that. When I had the soda the other day, it wasn't that bad, but the time before that, it was pretty bad, you know, where I was just frequently having to use the restroom. Are you eating so much sugar that you're making yourself sick to your stomach? That, again, hasn't really happened to me. I don't really get sick to that. Do you eat sugary foods you don't even like just to get a boost? Depends. Like, if there's nothing if there's nothing in the house and I find something, then yeah, that'll happen. If you're answering yes, chances are you are dealing with dependency, and I do believe fully that I am dependent. It's even more likely if you're attempting to get or stay sober in other areas of your life, which thankfully I don't have any addictions beyond sugar addiction. People that have struggled with an addiction to alcohol, for example, will often turn to sweets to replace it. I'm not going to attempt to pronounce the name, and quite frankly, I don't really care about the name. So sugar addiction really is a chemical imbalance, and that's at the heart of it. All addiction is a form of chemical imbalance, be it gambling, adult content, narcotics, substances, in my case, sugar. You know, it's all a form of addiction. And, you know, when you do it, you feel, in a way, really good afterwards. And, you know, just constantly chasing that high or whatever it is that you're chasing can really just affect you. So sugar addiction can lead to many different issues. Things like type 2 diabetes, overweight, or obesity, fatty liver disease, chronic inflammation, heart disease, stroke, and pancreatitis. And again, as I said earlier, unlike many other substance use disorders, your body needs sugar. It just doesn't need added sugar, and that's really the key. Is you got to really avoid sugar in your daily life, minus, you know, like a piece of fruit. Um, but it makes, according to this, that makes managing your sugar dependency a bit tricky. Abstaining from the stuff is impossible. And yes, you could actually actively hurt yourself if you don't intake sugar. So again, if this sounds like you, I'm not a big proponent of the 12-step program. I don't particularly believe in it because some of the things they ask you to do, to me, is a little much. But I do believe in step 1, which is admitting that you have a problem. And I've admitted many times, yes, I do have a problem. You know, the path to many marathons always starts with the first step, and that's what that is. So first, admit to it. Be honest with yourself. You can lie to me, you can lie to everybody else, but at the end of the day, you can't lie to yourself. Reality will always come and take you on. But once you admit to it, the next step is to take action. And here are some steps to take. According to the steps to take to break a sugar addiction. When it comes to breaking a sugar addiction, there's no quick fix. I fully agree there. You're making a significant lifestyle change, and it will take time and effort. We've compiled a list of the mental, physical, and dietary changes that will help you fend off sugar cravings and help you manage your eating habits. So their first step is focus on eating a balanced diet. Sometimes the best advice is also the most obvious. If you're getting into the recommended, if you're getting in the recommended 5 servings of fruits and vegetables a day, protein and high fiber foods, it will help stabilize your blood sugar. And I think when it comes to sugar addiction, like for me, as it started getting worse and worse, and I started getting the shakes, the first thing I would do when I got the shakes I would seek out food. And it was always around lunchtime, and I would go to either Burger Liege or Burger Clown, and get myself a couple of burgers, and that would stabilize me until dinner. I wouldn't make dinner or lunch at home, and I would just on my way home, I'd stop and get myself like a microwavable meal or something like that. Now, believe it or not, the one thing that really helped me more than anything else was one of those meal prep companies. Like I'm not going to advertise them, but the ones that you order the meals and they show up to your house in a box. The more popular one, the one that says hello on the front of the box, I had a coupon through them, through a service, and I subscribed. And honestly, being able to perfectly portion the meal and then save it, and what I would do is I would cook 2 meals on Monday, and then that would be enough for lunch and dinner for like 2 days. So I'd cook Sunday night, I would eat that Sunday night, then Monday I have one, Monday night, and then Tuesday, and then when I got home Tuesday I would cook 2 more, and that was my cycle. And then I would eat out on like Saturday, because like the box would arrive on Saturday, and that was kind of my little cheat meal. But like what I would do for my cheat meal is I would go to like this sandwich shop, and I would just get like a half of a sandwich, and I had like certain rules. The one sandwich I like is like a chicken sandwich. I'm a sucker for chicken. But like I would always try to have at minimum like 3 veggies, right? Yeah, 3 veggies, and it always have to be a 6-inch. I could always have more if I was hungry, but I could never order more right out of the gate. I would always find a way to cut either in half or order like the smallest size to try and limit how much I ate. And growing up, I wasn't poor per se, but when it came to my household, my brother was on the bigger side, and he would eat and eat and eat and eat, and because of that, I wouldn't have leftovers, so I'd have to eat and eat and eat in order to get what I felt was my fair share. And it created this really nasty competition in our household, and I think that had a driving force into my weight gain over time. Not to say that that's an excuse. It's not. At the end of the day, I did what I did to myself, and I have to make peace with it. But that's one of the reasons why I eat so much during meals. And I have to really remind myself that it's okay. You can put it in the fridge and have it for a future meal. So yeah, you just have to find a way to help yourself. But I would strongly recommend one of those meal kits. And you don't even have to purchase the meal kit. What you can do is, like the Hello one, you can get the recipes off their website and then buy the ingredients yourself and measure it all out if you want to be like that. And honestly, like some of the recipes, like there's one that I particularly enjoy more than any of them, and that's the citrus pork tacos. Those are really good. So that's what helped me, and I actually lost quite a bit of weight until I moved to Texas, and then I went hog wild on real barbecue because unfortunately Northern California is pretty culinarily illiterate unless you go to Sacramento, and even then it's kind of questionable. For 23 minutes. Okay, so let's go back to this. I was talking about balanced diet. Sorry. As you build a balanced diet, be aware that there are added sugars lurking in most highly processed foods. That means you may be eating a lot more sugar than you realize. And again, that's 100% true. You have to really learn to cut it out of your diet. Don't skip meals. This was another big one. Especially when you're dealing with sugar addiction, cutting meals out can really it can cause a lot of problems. Like for me, because my sugar, and I think that's what the shakes were, was my sugar, or my sugar levels were like so bad that, like I said, I was physically getting ill. And the immediate reaction to that is I have to eat something to get it back up, and I would go get something sugary to make me feel better quicker. So like I said, once you break that cycle, you can't get back on that cycle. But don't skip meals. Whether it's a side effect of a busy life or a conscious choice, skipping meals opens the door to sugar cravings. It happens to all of us from time to time. If you don't eat all day because you're busy or not hungry, you'll be way past hungry by the time you get home. You'll end up having one big meal right before bed or stopping at the drive-thru. Again, I'm very guilty of that. Eating nourishing food consistently throughout the day prevents you from getting too hungry, which enables you to make better food choices. And I think that the reason why a lot of people don't do this is, I'll be honest here. I didn't learn how to cook until I was in college. My parents never showed me. I think my dad taught me how to boil pasta once. And then when I was in college, I didn't have a real place to cook. Like, I didn't really start cooking actually. So I worked in a kitchen in college, and that's where I learned to cook. But I didn't cook on my own until I moved out of my parents' place for my job. And then that's when I started cooking on my own. And the biggest thing that I did was I got myself an Instapot. Back when Instapot was like a significant craze. And I cook soups, believe it or not. I liked a very hearty soup at night. And that was enough to get me. And then, in fact, there are some studies that say that hearty soups actually can help you get through. But you don't have to just cook soup. I cooked French dip sandwiches, and I cooked a lot of things in that Instapot. So there was that, and you can just throw it all in and have it ready to go by the time you get home. So, you know, if cooking's kind of an issue, you can at least do that. The other popular one that a lot of people are raving on right now, I haven't had the chance to do it, is an air fryer. There's some, you know, if you want to spend a little bit more money, you can get one of those 2-drawer air fryers, and some of them have a neat feature where they end cooking at the same time. So if, like, you know, you're cooking like a fish up top and it needs more time than your veggies, you can set it up to where they end at the exact same time, and it'll start cooking the fish sooner than the veggies. And people are raving about that. I would like to try it. I just don't have the money right now, but anyways, eating nourishing food consistently throughout the day prevents you from getting too hungry, which enables you to make better food choices. It's tough, but nowadays we have all kinds of meal replacement shakes and bars, convenient cheese sticks and yogurts, those types of things. There are also a lot of fast food alternatives now, like meal prep kits and healthy heat-to-eat subscription services. The only downside is I understand the cost, but considering the cost of like frozen things, there really is no excuse. And I'll be the first to admit that there is no excuse. You can make something relatively tasty and healthy. You just got to go find it. And I mean, my Facebook is so loaded with all sorts of tasty stuff on there. I just find a recipe, I message it to myself, and then the one thing I learned when I was in college learning how to cook at the kitchen is I had a giant 3-ring binder. I would print the recipes out, and I would just put it into a sleeve and stick it in there and slap it right into my kitchen. And then, like, Sunday, I would just plan it. You know, and this was after I did the Hello thing, because I realized that, like, they were missing meals, and a lot of the produce that I was getting was like trash. Like, they really put an impression on you the first like couple of orders, and then after that it just slowly declines. And like I said, you can get their recipes online and just order the food. Like, I'm in Texas, so we have HEB, and you can do curbside pickup, which, granted, again, sometimes the produce is like not the greatest, but it's still better than going to fast food. It literally takes the same amount of time, and then of course you get home, just prep it, you know. So yeah, there's a little bit of investment there, but you're investing in yourself, and always invest in yourself. Okay. How much time we got? We're already at 30 minutes. Excuse me. Plan and prep. Improvising tends not to work out very well for those of us with a raging sweet tooth, whether we're at the grocery store or standing in front of the fridge. Not everybody's a home chef, and that's okay. But it's important to invest the time to plan a grocery list, buy meal prep friendly foods and healthy snacks, and know what you're going to have each day of the week. It's about getting into that pattern. And that's probably the biggest thing out of all of this is have a plan and stick to it. You know, if the meals are prepped and ready to go, I find that I just reach into the fridge, pull it out, put it in my cooler, and go to work. And that's better to me than not having a plan. And then I'm like, well, I guess I got to go seek out Burger Liege. You know, the one thing I will say is I personally have never been into leftovers. Well, let me rephrase it, cold leftovers. And since I work on the road, I don't have access to a microwave. So what I did is they have these like lunchbox looking things with like a hot plate in it. And if you get glass meal prep or metal ones, right, the metal disposable ones, you pack it in there and you stick it into the hot plate thing, and then you plug it into your car. Or if you want, you know, you work in an office, you got a spare plug, as long as it doesn't stink too much, you can plug it into your wall there, and then by the time, you know, you're done, it's hot and ready to go. I've done that, and that's saved me quite a bit, because again, like, I'm going to be honest with you, cold food to me is just, it's so unappealing, especially when you're working hard all day. You want to have a nice warm meal. Excuse me, I'm drinking my morning coffee for today, even though it's already early afternoon. Make time for movement. Stress hormones play a big role in sugar cravings. And yes, for me, when I get stressed, I will eat a lot of sugar. Exercise is a proven stress reducer and a great way to calm sweet cravings, which in my view, it hasn't helped with the cravings. But I'm sure for other people it will, and even so much as just going on a walk probably would help. Exercise will help decrease your ghrelin levels, which I don't know what a ghrelin is, but okay. It can also help you be more tired, get to sleep, and stay asleep a little bit longer, which also reduces cravings. Now, I don't really feel that way, but I don't know. You know, just because it doesn't work for me doesn't mean it's not going to work for you. So don't let my anecdotes dictate your life. You know, don't be afraid to try it. Exercise doesn't have to be vigorous to be helpful either. Everybody's level of athleticism and pain tolerance is different. I will never tell people they have to hop on the treadmill. If you have fibromyalgia, for example, and can't run, let's do some seated exercises, or let's go for a light walk, whatever you're able to do. Things like yoga, tai chi, light stretching, they'll help too. Just moving your body will help you reduce those stress hormones. She adds that when we're investing time and effort in the intentional movement, we tend to be more mindful about what we eat, which I will say that when you're really working out hard, you tend to crave more healthy things. Like when I get off of the elliptical, I actually crave bananas quite a bit, bananas and apples. And, you know, I get home and I have a thing of bananas and apples, and I dig into that. I'm not going to read the rest of this, but some of the other tips: get plenty of sleep, you know, which don't let 8 hours be your guide, because people tend to need different levels of sleep every single day. And they need, you know, different people have different needs. Like, there have been nights where I go to bed at 9 and I wake up at like 4 o'clock in the morning and I'm like fresh, ready to go. And there's times where I go to bed at 9 and I wake up at like 8 o'clock and I'm like, oh, what the hell? You know? So, you know, don't feel like you have to have the full 8 hours. It's good to have 8 hours, but sleep what is natural to you. So if you wake up, you know, and you feel refreshed, like that's great. You know, get up and go at it. You know, but don't feel that you have to follow a set script. And that's the one thing I've learned in my health journey is everyone's different, and you can take in all the advice every day of the week, and it may not really apply to you at all. Another thing is drink lots of water. A friend of mine at work has been doing this. It's these little cartridges. They trick your brain into thinking there's flavor, but you're still just drinking pure water. I'm not going to advertise. I don't believe in advertising products because I don't want someone to watch this and say, I'll go get that. But they are at the Mart, the you know, the blue Mart. And he stated that doing that has, because he doesn't like drinking water, which I know a lot of people don't, but he drinks that and like he just drinks a ton of water now because of it. Like it really has helped him avoid the sugary drinks and all that stuff. Me personally, I feel that that's a crutch, so I'm not particularly doing it. For me, I got one of these guys. You know, I got this off at one of those big the one that you got to show your card at, your membership, the membership warehouse. There we go. I got one of those guys, and I go through about 2 of those a day. I also got like the really, really big one that you see like the gym bros walking around with, but I haven't really used that because, again, I'm driving around in my car all the time. I don't really have a place to store it, and that's just one more thing that I gotta carry with me. Like I could see like if I'm at a site all day, which I don't know if I'm going to be at a site all day, I could see myself carrying that around, but yeah. Another thing, journal your food intake. Now, I have an app that lets me scan barcodes, and that has helped me quite a bit. But the problem that I will say about journaling is you tend to underestimate exactly what you're intaking. And I do have a scale. I weigh everything I eat as best as I can, but there are times where it's just like I'm in a rush and I can't. If you do prep, what you can do is get yourself some masking tape, and on the container, weigh everything, put it in the container, and then write down what is in there. So that way, when you do go to record, you can write down exactly how much and all that stuff. But just even if it's just writing down what you eat, you can at least go back and say, "Oh my God, what the hell am I doing to myself?" You know. So you want definitely to record it. You don't have to have an app. You can use the notepad on your phone or buy yourself a little cheap notebook and pen and write it down there. But writing it down, recording it in some way has helped me, and it might help you. Don't eliminate food group. Good Lord, pardon me. Don't eliminate food groups that aren't harming you. Sure. Yeah. I can see that, but like, ice cream is a big one for me. I can't have ice cream. Even if I have one scoop, I'm going to want to eat the whole carton later, and I just can't have it in the house. So I don't know if that's what they're referring to here. But I don't know. I'm kind of iffy on that one. And then last, do you need a detox from sugar? Don't do a detox. When it comes to sugar, actually, I would say that doing a detox is probably the worst thing you could do. What I would do if I were you, and again, you don't have to take my advice. I'm just some guy on the internet. But this is what has helped me is focus on one meal. Okay? Start with one meal a day or one meal a week, okay, where you actively just cook it. You start there, see what works, see what doesn't, okay? What I do, again, is in my binder, I have it's divided. I bought these little dividers for the binder. For the recipes I haven't tried, I print them out and I put them in the section that I haven't tried, and then, you go and you try it, like find out how to cut the portion in half so that way you can make like, a one pan meal or something like that, and then try it. If you really like it, then move it from the have not tried section to, for me, I organize my binders. I use this lady called Alejandra.tv, and she has a really cool idea for a recipe binder. I followed that. And I'll put a link in the description for her stuff. She seems like a nice lady. She's just a little, I know it's a business and, but like, it just still seems a little odd. So, don't listen to her for all because she's more focused on organization. But the binder thing was actually a good idea, and that's where I took it from. So I'll put the description there if I can find it. But like I said, focus on the one meal, okay? Be it like dinner. Actually, you know what? Probably the best one would be breakfast. And what I did, and what I still do to this day, is I do like a copycat version of Burger Clown's breakfast burritos. And the reason why I do that is you can put it in the freezer and they'll keep for freaking ever. As long as you got power to that freezer, they'll keep. You can pull one out, put it in the microwave. I put like a wet towel around it to help steam it. Put it in the microwave, and then when it comes out, it's really good, really tasty. And I'm a sucker for eggs and hot sauce, and that has really helped me out to learn how to prep effectively. I will say that the one recipe that I use currently was not the recipe that I first started using. I went through about maybe 5 of them before I landed on this one specific recipe. And it's literally one of the easiest recipes you can make. The way I do it is I make everything, put it in a little container, shove it in the fridge for a night, bring it back out, and then make my burritos and then stuff them all in the freezer. I might put that recipe there in the description as well, so that way you guys can kind of check it out. And I'm not doing it for like weight loss per se, even though that is kind of like a direction that I'm trying to go. It's more just to get me into the habit. Build the habit first. Don't focus on the weight. Don't focus on anything else. Build the habits first. And then once you build the habits, then you can tweak them. Okay? Okay, that's pretty much the end of the article. So let's switch over here. So build the habit first. If you feel that you got a problem, okay, build the habit first. Then you can start eliminating things. So if you got a sweet tooth or a sugar addiction, okay, first, if you don't know how to cook, learn to cook. Okay, everybody should know how to cook at the very least, like very basic things. Okay, I'm not going to teach you how to cook here. There's plenty of good resources out there, like Binging with Babish. Before he had his meltdown, he had some really good series on beginners. There's others out there that have really good series. I've seen a couple of them. There's articles. You don't need to go full on Michelin star restaurant starting. But if you just have like some very basics, like I said, I just started with an Instapot, and always have a thermometer. Always have a thermometer. Don't rely on different tests, or always have a thermometer. So because the biggest the number one location to get food poisoning, believe it or not, is in your own kitchen. Okay, a lot of restaurants and stuff, like, yeah, I've been in some pretty gross restaurants in my career. But, I've seen some kitchens, like some people's kitchens there, like, you wouldn't even have a glass of water in them. That's how bad they were, and then they bring whatever concoction they cook up in there to the company potluck, and you're looking at it like, oh God, I know where you've been. I don't want to eat you at all. Like, just the thought that it's contaminating the table with all the other food just makes me sick. But learn how to, if it's just putting raw ingredients into an Instapot and cooking it, and then learning how to temp it out, make sure it's safe to eat. That's all you got to do. Okay? Start there first. And then every week, challenge yourself. Challenge yourself to, for us in the kitchen, we had to learn how to cut. And we were given a list of like different cuts, and we were told to practice and practice and practice. Learn how to dice an onion and chop a carrot, julienne a pepper. It doesn't have to be pretty. As long as it's edible. Edible and it looks appealing to you, that's all that matters. Okay? And like I said, start there, and then also record your food, and then as you record, then say, okay, I'm drinking too much soda. Let's see if I can reduce it down from like 12 cans to 10 cans a day or whatever. Just challenge yourself every single week. Challenge yourself. But the number one thing, and this is the whole purpose of this video, is I started by telling you that the other day I screwed up and I had a soda, which led to 6 sodas, 4 burgers, and a giant ice cream. But I got to remember that before I had that, I went 100 days without having a soda. 100 days. Okay? So if you're trying, and it doesn't matter if it's sugar addiction or whatever, if you make a mistake, it's not the end of the world. Don't be harsh on yourself. And I know it's easy to say, I screwed up, and, oh well, and all that hard work you throw out the window, and you all of a sudden say, screw it. You start eating like crud, and next thing you know, you're back up to 300 pounds. Don't be that harsh on yourself, okay? Take the loss. Try again tomorrow. Okay? Every single day, try your best. And if you fail, okay, you failed. Try again tomorrow. Just don't give up. Okay? I would rather you fail one day and then get back on the wagon than to give up. All right. So I hope someone takes that message well. Anyways, this is the end of the video. Again, my name is Jack Descartes, and this is Sentinel Circle. I hope you have a great day. I hope this video was informative. I hope you were entertained at the very minimum. And if you were, please like and subscribe. Give me a comment. I always appreciate comments. And if you feel this video will help someone, please share it. All right. Have a good day. Bye.